well, Scout can now. I'll still call him Can Scout. Are both like really good targets to pick. I'd say you shouldn't let the Necromancer have a free reign. Like, punish the thief when he gets out of position, but otherwise train the Necromancer. That's what they should be targeting. And the game is starting.
Alright, so again, this is going to be Team Ugly versus No Name Noobs. Going to be watching the splits here coming right out of the gate. Alright, game has started. Looks like we're seeing, possibly one crossing over. Looks like the elements from the red team is going to be crossing over, trying to keep that Henge neuted, possibly. We do see all of blue team running by Henge, probably moving towards mid, it looks like.
Yeah, Tepe is playing a tank elementalist, so he's going to be able to just hold it. And No Name Noobs is having their DPS LE follow. So it's going to be a DPS LE and a Ranger versus tank LE. This is not really... They're most likely not going to be able to kill Tepe. He's going to be able to escape, and he's also going to be able to keep the point muted. This is most likely to Ugly's advantage at the start.
Yeah, Tepe doing a pretty good job so far, staying alive versus 1v2 here. He's taking a little bit of damage. Does Popsy actually is a Tornado here. He's trying to stay alive on point. He actually drops out of it pretty quickly here. He's just going to try to get his heal up. Gonna jump over here to mid. Looks like we do see a Moa going out into Beer Jungle. He did move off a point though to avoid the damage inside that Moa. We do see a counter Moa going out into Rav. They're gonna go in for the burst on him right now. He does get taken down. Looks like they're gonna go in for the stomp here. Not sure if they'll be able to quite get it off. Rav goes down at the mid fight here, putting the team fight in Team Ugly's favor. We also do see Sigrid going down as well, and we do see the knockback coming in, and we're gonna see the stomp coming out from Beer just here shortly.
Yeah, they tanked a lot of the AoE, and the NG couldn't really do anything. Rather, he just had his pressure reverted back to his team because Necro's balanced. And
Alright, looks like we do see Henge getting capped over here for No Name Noobs. Finally, Tepe's going to bounce that, move back towards mid.
Alright, so a good question now is what NNN is going to do. Like, it looks like they're going to go for Chieftain, and then they're going to have to pick for what kind of strategy they want to do. In my opinion, they should just have their engineer push towards 4 and then put some pressure on mid. Like, that's the best thing they can do. And I'm not sure what they're going to do if Can Scout 1v1s it. Possibly, I'm not sure. Maybe they'll have their LE help their engineer. But yeah, they're moving towards mid with all of their players, and they have their Ranger on close. Most likely, this Ranger's going to move towards 4. He's not just going to stand on close, because he has to do something for his team. He's not really doing anything but just holding the points. And the part of mid is starting.
Alright, No Name Noobs coming here into mid. We're going to try to take out Tepe and Beer. They're both getting pretty low here in mid, but we do have a lot of Ugly in position to try to counter them getting taken down here. Tepe's kind of just skirting on the outside of the fight here, just to make sure he doesn't get taken down. A lot of burning on him right now. Looks like he's going to go down off a point here, though. Yeah, Tepe does go down in kind of a bad position here. If No Name Noobs gets an eye on him, they might come over and just take him out really quickly there. But it looks like no one really knows where he's at right now.
Yeah.
Back over here on mid point, we do see Rav going down. And so is Eva. So actually, Ugly dominating in the middle of this team fight here, even being a man down when Tepe went over on the staircase there.
Well, they weren't a man down per se. I mean, the Ranger was a 4-on-4, and they had a Ranger standing. So Ugly went in with 5 on mid, and one of their players got down, but they would still one more player. And the one who went down was Tepe, which means that they blew all their cooldowns on killing a tank elementalist. Now, granted, Tepe tanked quite a lot of AoE, but still. It was just a 4-on-5 for NNN. They shouldn't have won that fight, and they need to put some use to the Ranger. He can't just stand on close.
Right, over here at Henge, looks like Tepe did get the Newt on to Henge, but No Name Noobs rather has 2 on point here rather. Tepe coming back in, trying to keep this neutral as long as possible here. We do see about 130 point disparity right now, with Team Ugly in the lead.
Yes. And let's see. And then isn't I'm not quite sure what they're doing. And for example, their engineer is pushing towards, I think, mine through the back, or is he? I'm not quite sure where he's going. Yeah, he's backing off. They're quite uncoordinated right now, but
yeah, they might be a little bit shaken right now, to be honest. Just with the point disparity, they have no points right now. They're fighting over Henge right now, and they're having a hard time getting it. We do have Tepe here, Mufasa here as well, and Beer moving their Guardian from the midpoint onto this point. Actually, we do see the portal coming out from looks like Ugly coming back into this midpoint here, immediately ganking out Sivuseek on point. They're gonna be going for the stomp here just shortly. Actually, looks like Sivuseek does move off of the point here. Rav X is down as well, and Sigrid is the only one left on point.
Yeah. Right now, I would recommend this. Like, if you're too capped and such, just secure your close points for starters. Just send everybody there, and then come up with a plan with your team. Because if you don't really have a plan, a good team, Ugly is a really good team, and this is how they will treat you. No matter how well you are, no matter how good you are as players, this is what's going to happen if you're up versus a good team, and you don't follow up with a strategy when you're below.
So you just think that No Name Noobs is kind of spreading their resources too thin right now, going for the midpoint and home point, and they should just all in on that home point right now? All in on Hinge? All right, well, we do see, it looks like Teppy's still over here in Whirlwind, right, or in his Tornado rather, just doing some crazy work over here. We got Beer over on point as well. I really like the rotations from the Guardian. A lot of times on NA and a lot of other games as well, you just see the Guardian sitting mid, but we see Beer going where he needs to go.
Yeah, it's a rather typical rotation in which we've had in Europe for a while, where the Tankle is the first to decap, and after that, when he gets a matchup where he needs help, the Guardian comes. And what happens is the Guardian is bunkering the point, and the Tankle can just leave the point then. And if they go for the Tankle, he can just run away, heal up, and come back. And if they go on the Guardian, the Tankle will come to the point, give the Guardian protection, heal the Guardian, and then run away.
Like so we do see
it's
Eva,
a really strong composition.
We do see Eva coming here into mid, going to try to take Mufasa on point here. Should be an interesting fight. We do have, actually, it looks like we have another player coming in for No Name Noobs coming in, rather. Eva taking a lot of damage regardless of the, looks like a 3v1 versus Mufasa. Mufasa gets mowed out here, hits the line of warding, rather, and is getting bursted down off of point.
Yeah, Kanscout was, I think it was greeting for the boss, and yeah, it was not ideal rotation, because they had their Guardian left on Henge for far too long. Like, the Guardian should only be there, or the Tankle, depending on how you want to do it, should only be there if you're really outnumbered. But he stuck around, and then they surged mid, and then you have this position where the DPSer, the Mesmer, who can't hold 2v1, is stuck bunkering the point.
We do see Can Scout popping Plague on point, just trying to spam that misses. We do see Ravix down for No Name Noobs as well. Just trying to lay down as much cleave damage as possible on top of Rav's corpse. We do see Eva going down as well. I think, with the overwhelming odds that we had for No Name Noobs at the beginning of this fight, Team Ugly able to come back with superior coordination and just pretty much dominate this team fight so far.
Yeah, Kanscout got in almost all of his AoE and stuff, and that's a wipe unless you have Condic Chance. Necro is crazy right now.
So every single No Name Noobs player is down currently. Kanscout going in for the last stomp here on the Guardian. We do have Mufasa coming in here as well just to back it up, get some free points, glory farming. And back over here at Henge, rather, we do have Beer still fighting on point. He was actually able to get a full cap here versus the Ranger. We have, looks like Zizbiki Ben on point trying to just stay on that point as much as he can, but I really don't think there's any point for him to be here right now, especially 1v3. I think he should have bailed out long ago once he lost that cap.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how he lost the cap, considering that he has Rampage just won. But yeah, at this point, like, it's easy to be demoralized when the points are like this. This is not to say that like every single game versus NNN versus Ugly is gonna pan out this way, because like for the mid fight at the start, NNN actually had some decent chances. And even for the retake, like, they were able to get a player down and such, even though they were 4v5. It's just, they have to figure out what they're going to do with their Ranger. The Ranger is absolutely terrible for team fights, as everyone knows, especially if you don't have Rampage as well. Like, then you're just made for nothing but point holding. So they have to make use of that. They have to send him, and he has to put pressure. Like, that Ranger can almost 1v1 anything. Which means if he pushes far while they're having a fight on mid, then you have this position where, who should I send back? Should I send back a player that can just survive it, but we might need our Guardian on mid? Or what if we send back something that just loses outright 1v1 after a while? Like, you have to make use of that fact of the Ranger, and if you don't, then you're just playing almost one player down. Like, you're better off just taking another Necro. Have I mentioned that Necro is powerful? You
have mentioned that Necro is powerful once or twice, and I'm inclined to agree with you in certain circumstances. They are still very susceptible to getting ganked out almost immediately, though. Still not a lot of defensive options on the Necromancer aside from the new Death Shroud regeneration.
Exactly, which is why they should be very careful with their composition. They don't actually have any burst. They have one DPS LE, which isn't really enough, because like I mentioned, like, you do Spectre Walk, and then you need like something like a Thief or some more reliable bursting together to get down that Necro. The Engineer doesn't really fit in the role. If they're trying to fight it, of course. They should, which is why I said they should split more. A lot more, if they want to win.
Alright, so for those of you just tuning in, we're going to be playing Legacy of Foefire here next. Again, this is Conquest. Basically, there's 3 points on the map. Anytime you cap that point, you'll get 1 point for your team every 2 seconds. You can have up to 3 points at once. There's a secondary objective on each one of these maps, and I'll pull up the map here so you guys can see that. There's going to be a Guild Lord in each base here, where I'm circling on the map right now. Anytime you take out the enemy Guild Lord, well, there's one opportunity per per map rotation anyways. You have the possibility of getting 150 points for your team. If you get to the 350 point mark and you're able to take down the enemy lord, it's pretty much an instant win. The thing is though is that the enemy lord will try his hardest not to go down, and you run the risk of getting pretty much taken out by the enemy team when you go in for the lord. So it's really kind of an all-in strategy. We see it a lot more. I feel like we see it a lot more on EU Hell, Seth. Like, is this a strategy that your team's adopted? Do you guys actually go for the lord very often? Or do you try to play it safe?
You could use a lot of pressure with the lord. For example, if you have 350 points, like you mentioned, it's an insta win. So let's say that we have a 2-cap, and let's say that we have your doors open. In this position, you're in a really bad position. Like, if you want to attack middle, you really have no choice but to attack middle, because if you go to waterfall, we might have hidden a portal near your gate, and we'll just portal away, and you'll be all the way over at waterfall, and we'll be able to attack your lord. Still, like, aside from that, I'm not a big fan of going for lord. Rather, I love this map because you can have to teamfight a lot on it, in my opinion. And we just want to go on that and outplay the enemy, rather than using the weak lord.
Alright, this is going to be match 2 between Team Ugly and No Name Noobs. If Team Ugly wins this, they'll progress on further into the ESL Guild Wars 2 Cup. Maybe possibly making it to the end. Who knows?
Interesting to see that Mufasa and Leggy are capping close. This is something that was used to do. People used to do it all the time before, but it kind of fell off. Like, people almost always only cap with their tanks right now. And a 2-on-2 starts on Corey, and they managed to get off the Moa right away on the Engineer, and now they're just stomping them. Illusion with so it's a Mesmer and a Thief versus Engineer and Thief. Mesmer and Thief and Engineer Mesmer. I'd say this matchup is in the favor of the Mesmer Engie, but considering how Mufasa got the start off, they're most likely having advantage right now.
Ooh, the counter does go out on the Leggy right now, but we do have Mufasa putting a lot of damage on him. Leggy's going to go ahead and kind of kite off the point. He's going to use his 5 to escape here while Mufasa takes Rav X down. I think they were in a really bad spot there, just considering that Rav did get the early Moa and had the Illusion of Life on him. Mufasa's just going to take him down with cleave damage, in the process taking out Eva. So we actually have Lucky coming back in full health on the point. And it looks like Team Ugly will be taking Quarry pretty easily there.
And middle for some reason, because apparently, in some way, they were actually able to start killing mid. I completely missed it. But.
All right, over here on Waterfall, we do have Tepi and Beer fighting. It looks like Ben and who's the other player that we got here? Sivuseek. There's going to be a Guardian and an Elementalist versus a Ranger and an Elementalist. We do see Tepi popping the early Whirlwind here, or Tornado rather, getting Sivuseek down almost right away. Beer coming in for the stomp. He's going to miss forward to avoid the first one. Sivuseek running off a point, kind of an interesting position. Beer's going to move off point to get him to stomp, and Tepi should be fine on point until then.
Yeah. The one who got the kill was Leggy, who came in and just one-shotting people. Most likely, they don't really care about Waterfall in terms of actually winning it. Like, you just have your tanks there, and they can just tank it forever. I think they just had extra time, so Leggy went there and one-shot something to alleviate pressure. But they don't actually have to win Waterfall. Like, they'll just keep their bunkers there, and then this is fine. They have 2-cap, and they can rotate their DPSers without overextending. Like, the danger of pressuring for the enemy farpoint is they can respawn and keep circling it, and they can also, if you're going all the way over to their farpoint, they can sneak to your close point. So a lot of people do this. They just leave their tanks at far, and if they need reinforcement at far, they'll just wait until the bunkers are in danger. And the DPSers tend to be very fast, so...
All right,
smart rotation.
Over here at mid, Ugly able to defend off Graveyard pretty easily here. Mufasa doing a lot of cleave damage to Evo when she went down. Back over here on Waterfall, we do have Rav X fighting again. Looks like a 3v2 in favor of his team, but we do have Canscout coming in. Going to be laying down the burst damage here. Though, actually, Leggy able to take Rav X down. Going to be throwing down the cleave damage onto the corpse. Beer coming in with the stomp. Able to end stomp first try here. And it looks like we'll be having Ugly swarm this point. CVC goes down here as well. I'm sure Ben will follow here just shortly, and this will be a free camp, it looks like, for Ugly finally. Well, actually, we do see Sivuseek moving out point here. Evo tried to go in for the res. We do see the knockback coming back from, it looks like Beer's Shield 5. And, Sivuseek goes down. Eva's the only one left over here, and he's in a really bad position, and probably going to go down here just shortly.
Yeah, as you can see, the Elementalist just spawned, Ravex, and NG, sorry, and he's already moving towards Waterfall. They're just struggling, it's one by one. This is never going to work for them. Rather, they're just going to go in, die, and eventually Ugly will get the capture point, and they're just wasting points right now. Again, they should just regroup and then go together somewhere. You'll never win a fight when you go in one by one, unless your opponent misplays ridiculously hard. And
Sigurd's currently the only one on point here, like you said, just kind of filtering one by one. We do have Beer and Can Scout here, just trying to take him out. He's going to go down just shortly here. I guess the idea behind this is they just don't really want them to have that waterfall. They don't want to go through the whole decap scenario with Beer on
totally
point.
Worth it. Totally worth it. It's not like they're all dying in exchange and they have 0 points. No, keep doing that.
We have Ravex going down here as well, getting bleed out, and
oh my god, they're managing to cap Quarry. Oh my, they might get points. No, the decap. The cap was stopped.
Yeah, Tippy getting on point just in time. Leggy here to help out as well. We do have, looks like 3 from No Name Noobs here. Mufasa's coming in to support as well. A little bit of damage going on Tippy right now. We do see the Moa going out. Looks like on a Civuseek, they're going to try to chase him down. Civuseek's going to do a really good job of cutting off the point here for now, though, and they're going to focus their damage back on. It looks like Eva for right now.
I just really want them to get 1 point. Wait. Oh, the Guardian, Sigrid, he's capping Waterfall. No. Oh. No, they're
well, not quite. He's going to get the decap, but it looks like we'll have Ravex and Beer coming in. Beer's going to be able to stay up.
Mid. Run mid, there's somebody there. Stop it. Alright, they're having a 2v1, a Guardian and an Engineer versus a Guardian. This is, especially on Waterfall, the Guardian should more or less never die, if he plays correctly. With the ultimate, that might change, but...
Yeah, over here on Quire, looks like Ugly able to take out 3 of No Name Noobs, securing that point. We might actually see a perfect game coming out from Team Ugly. You think it's going to happen? You think that No Name's going to be able to come in and get at least 1 point? I mean, Beer is getting pretty low right now. He's going to put down a Sanctuary, try to go down inside. If he does have stability, he's going to pop his Renewed Focus here, trying to get those virtues back up. Does pop the Healing Virtue, and has actually did a pretty good job staying alive there. We do have teammates coming in to help him out here. We have Can Scout and Tippy coming in on point. Sigurd going to be in a bad spot here. We do have Ravex going down as well. Leggy coming in for the stomp here. Avoids the first pull from the Engineer downstate. Ravex gets stomped out. Aye. Sigurd goes down off a point here. It looks like we'll be seeing that point go into Ugly's favor just here shortly. Once again, we do see Ugly moving out, try to re-secure the side or the other points here as well. A lot of damage going on into Eva Von here at mid. Going to get taken out here just shortly. They're just having a really hard time getting on these points, man. Like every time they get somewhere, like Ugly's ready to go. And just they just respond so quickly.
The problem is a problem of number. Ugly actually has more players than them, even if that might not make any sense. Like the problem is they go in 1 player at the point, and then he 2v1s, and then he dies, and then the next player comes in, and it's still 2v1. Like it hasn't changed. They went 2 players, but they still went 2v1, and they keep doing that. Like they respawn and they solo to a point, and this will never work out.
We do see Quarry getting muted. Ravex might get a point. They're trying to get on. Get out! Oh, they make it just in time. Leggy preventing the full cap from Ravex coming in, keeping them at 0 points. Unfortunately, Ravex going to be going down here just shortly. Very valiant effort. Ravex trying to disengage. He's got quite a bit of connies on him, though. He's going to go down off a point. Should have stayed on point. Not that it would matter in the overall grand scheme of things.
So close. They almost had it there.
They almost had those precious points.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's face it, Ugly has been here for a really long time, and they're really good. Like, basically, we were gone for a while, and we came back, and we lost to Ugly, and we got really mad, and we were like, they're horrible! And then we, screamed them, and then we kept losing, and they were like, maybe they're not horrible. And they've only gotten better and better. Like, definitely a great team, and not a real surprise that this happened. Honestly, I put my money on the Guild Board winning, but this is not... Wait! Oh, okay, never mind. I thought the stomp was for the other team.
No, not quite. Not quite.
Just hyped about the potential of having 5 points.
we did see them all in on Eva getting rezzed up. He's going to go down here just momentarily again. Civuseek's down on here as well. Leggy coming in with the crazy damage from the Thief here. Going to drop him. And that's going to be Game 2 going to Team Ugly. Looks like we did have a lever here towards the end. 501 with the stomp to 0.
Oh, yeah.
So that is going to be, like I said, 2 wins in a row for Team Ugly.
Well, again...
you did predict it, right? This is went according to plan.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is not unexpected. This doesn't even paint NN in a bad light, even though it might look like it. Like, it's no shame losing to a top-tier team like that, especially on a map like Legacy. Legacy is the snowballiest map in the game. If you're 2-capped, and if you have a decap, it's extremely hard to come back. Like, we've been up versus like the teams that are considered absolute top tier, and we've had the same results, and that doesn't make them any, like, it doesn't make them a weak team. They could also beat us at any other day. It's just that's a really hard map to come back on, especially if you're filtering in one by one like that. Like, because it's so far from respawn to your close point, which means if you're just going one by one, you will never have the advantage in number. So at least good game if we're trying, and I can't believe I'm this mannered.
You're doing a really good job today. I gotta hand it to you. I applaud your efforts at staying very very even keeled throughout this. All right, so we're going to find our second round match here. Going to be looking at the matchups here, deciding what we want. I think we're going to be leaning towards Throw Train versus Team Ugly. How do you feel about that?
Throw Train. Okay, this is a match which is more interesting. Wait. Throw Train versus Team Ugly, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I'll put my money on Ugly, but I will say that Throw Train will definitely be able to, they should very well be able to get a win, and they're two very strong teams. This is one of the matches I'm more excited for. I haven't met Throw Train in a while. Last time we met them, they didn't actually have an Elementalist. They have very interesting composition, but they're actually very strong, in my opinion. Like they scrim a lot versus the likes of Onibaban and such, and they used to be, well, honestly, bluntly put, they were used to consider very low tier, but they practiced a lot, and during a very short period of time, they went from just being, yeah, let's beat them while solo queuing to holy fuck, did we just lose? And, so I'm very interested in this matchup.
Me as well. All right, we're going to take a short break here while we get these next matchups set up, guys. Stick around. We'll be back with our next matchup. It should be, hopefully, Throw Train versus Team Ugly, which we just watched. Stick around.